Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Wilson, singer-songwriter in San Antonio, Texas. I'm also an author and a poet, I'm a producer, manager, bunch of stuff, finance. It's my 181st CD. I got 3,500 songs in my original catalog, and I'm doing educational stuff. I'm doing people's lives. It's a more research. This one here, I did a lot of research. I watched a documentary. It's one of the best um, surgeons in the world. I forgot his name, Michael. I forgot his name, but he does autopsies on some of the most famous people there is. This is the story of James Dean, and this is all from him and facts, and it should be very, very accurate. Okay, James Dean was born in Indiana in 1931 on a farm. His mother, he loved his mother very much. Uh, when he was about 9 years old, he was in the barn, and he used to go to the circus and watch it on the trapeze. So he'd get on a rope, and he ran into a post and knocked his teeth out. And his father was a dental like a dental assistant, got some old teeth, and then made his first thing. So all his life, he has actually had his front teeth were false teeth, and he had a hard time learning how to act with that. Okay, his mom, he had another terrible blow. His mom, he devoted his mom. His mom is the one who taught him to act and used to help him, encourage him and things to go into acting. At 9 years old, his mom died of cancer. His father abandoned him. James James rode in the boxcar with the mother's coffin at 9 years old. Can you imagine? 9 years old. Well, today they couldn't do it. In a boxcar with the mother's coffin, the 9-year-old boy was sat next to the coffin for 1,800 miles on the train. He always blamed his dad. He always blamed his father. His father didn't come to the funeral either. The father called the sister of either the father's sister or the mother's sister to take care of James, who's only 9 years old. So he grew up hard. He grew up hard. He started. He went to one acting school, but he quit. He started acting full time. He he's also, a lot of people don't know, he's nearsighted. He couldn't, without his glasses, he couldn't see. You see him on TV he had to memorize the lines because he wears glasses. Yeah, he was also bipolar, so his swings were ups and downs, and maybe that's one of the reasons why he rode a motorcycle and cutting edge, and he was a great race car driver. He loved speed, but he also actually it's ironic because 2 weeks before he passed away, he was on a thing promoting kids to slow down and drive careful, and he made 3 movies. His movie debut was East of Eden, where I believe he won an Academy Award for it. The next was Rebel Without a Cause, and the last was Giant. He passed away like 2 weeks after Giant was finished. You're not gonna believe this. The head of the studio, he didn't like James Dean. James Dean used to bring a motorcycle and used to race right by his office and everything. And so something Warner, the president, says, "Get that little bastard out of here." So James Dean bought him a new Porsche Spider, which was only 2020 in the United States, is a rare model, and so he painted it on the back on the trunk. He painted a little bastard. That's James Dean. He did smoke. He drank a little bit too much, but he's never known to do drugs. He was just a kid, His first movie, he did 3 movies in a row. East of Eden, which got Academy Award, Rebel Without a Cause. And here's the ironic thing. After his death, Rebel Without a Cause and Giant was shown on in the movies after his death. He this is what happened. He wanted to go back to racing. He loved racing. He won a lot of racing places, but his contract, because they knew that he liked speed and everything, so his contract while he was making the movies, he could not race. So he just finished Giant, and he bought this brand new Porsche. Here's the thing, I think they were in Los Angeles, and the race was going to be in Salinas, California. It's like 300 miles. So he was over there, and they were going to, James Dean had a station wagon, and they were going to tow it, the car, the 300 miles. And the mechanic said, no, you're going to have to break, the motor's brand new. You have to break in the motor, so you better drive it. So, they changed the oil, they had everything made. It took hours and hours to do all that, and they were following behind it. So his mechanic, actually his best friend, who I saw a documentary where three of his best friends were on there, and they were going to. So James was driving his Porsche. The mechanic was with him, and the other people were in the back. His photographer and his stuntman was in the car behind him, and they were going. Oh, I got a few more things to tell you. Remember, I didn't write this down. Okay, he always looked for a mother figure. I mean, he really wasn't happy. One of his best friends, this lady, they were about the same age, but he talked to her like his mother. He'd go over there 3 o'clock in the morning, and he'd talk to her like his mother, telling him what happened in his life and everything, and they were really close. And he didn't sleep very much. He had insomnia, and he didn't sleep very much, and so he really didn't have that good of a life, Okay, so let's get back to the thing. So they were going, and they were following James Dean, okay? So he got a ticket. He got a ticket going 65 miles an hour in the 55-mile zone, okay? They stopped for 15 minutes, about 45 minutes or an hour before the fatal crash. They stopped for 15 minutes, use a bathroom, drink a soda or something. He was alert. He was only 24 years old. This is September 30th, 1955. He was alert. He was happy because he's getting out of the contract. He's gonna get a new contract where he's gonna get more money, and he got everything going for him. So the reports of him driving fast and driving in the dark is a bunch of baloney. This is the real story, when I understand. First of all, the car was a kind of a gray color, and you never get a car that matches the road. I drove a city bus for 30 years. I always said that. He had a car that matched the road, which is hard to see. It's a smaller car, and very few Americans weren't used to looking at those, Okay, they weren't wearing seat belts, of course. So I think he was really, in my opinion, he was driving normal. And this is on a flat road. This guy is a professional driver who's won many races. This is on a flat road. It's 5:45 in the evening, 30 minutes before dark, but it was getting a little bit dark. He didn't have his lights on, a little bit dark. But the guy, the 23-year-old college student, who was, of course, they're all passed away, so the 23-year-old college student was driving like a 1952 Ford. And he was known for trying to race home. So he lived near there, so he would race and cut across and race. And the thing I think had happened was that either James was doing the speed limit or a little bit above the speed limit, and because James is 24 and the guy's 23, and he's a college student, and he just didn't see him. James was coming like this, and the kid, James is driving that little car made out of tin foil. They're lightweight and they're small, and it was almost dark. He didn't have his lights on, and this kid, who drives this road all the time, flew and cut across and hit him just like that. So James, the mechanic, got thrown out. James got hit. His foot was stuck in the gas in the pedal. He was stuck and he was thrown over. His head hit the dash. It hit the side. It hit part of the bumper. I mean, it was bad. And he was thrown in the car. And of course, the kid in the big car, didn't nothing happen to him. The ambulance came. They had to cut him out to get his foot out. He broke his neck. He broke his neck and internal damages and everything. But in those days, they didn't put a neck brace. That the doctor was saying if they would have put a neck brace like today, he was still breathing when he was in, because this is a healthy guy. He was in the ambulance, and what happened? 25 miles to going to the. They had an accident in the ambulance. Took a few minutes. They got that, and with no neck brace, that caused him from breathing. And because the mechanic was in the same ambulance, was coming in and out, was unto and coming in and out, and he swore he was breathing in the ambulance. But by the time they got to the hospital, because of because they didn't put a neck brace, and because of the 10 minutes or 15 minutes for the little accident they had, he was dead on arrival. And his best friend, who's supposed to have gone, who didn't go because he was going to go to a football game, said that James would have wanted it that way, because he didn't want to be crippled. He wouldn't want to be crippled. And here's the sad part. His father, who abandoned him, says James did not have a will. Everybody should have a will, because of a will, and because of the laws. James was worth in 1955, after taxes and everything, he was worth $100,000, which today, I don't know, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. So his dad, who abandoned him, came by to pick up the check after he died. So everybody should know that the father that abandoned him did pick up the money. He got the money, all right, and that's what happened. It was just one of those things. It was a beautiful road. The sun was just going down a little bit. James didn't have his lights on. He had the worst color in the world. People who buy these gray cars, you match the road, And the kid driving the other car, which was a very heavy Ford, like a 52 Ford, made out of solid steel, 5,000 pounds of steel. So, he cut right in front of James. James couldn't do nothing. He hit him, but like I say, everybody lived, except James. The mechanic lived. He had a broken leg and a little facial thing. The kid, he's driving a tank, a big car. So James Dean's the only one that died. So, well, that's the story. I'm gonna do a few more of these, but it's a lot of work for me to get them accurate and everything. But I'll try. There's so many people like this one. Well, the Bob Wilson Studios, 2021. Peace out.